Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers. I'm also the review editor of the Barrister, and I'm looking this morning at the supplements which the Barrister magazine produces twice a year with their quarterly. This is the lifestyle example of a supplement. It's 32 pages. And this is the most recent one for 2014. I've also got some other ones from previous years. That's actually 2013 and that's 2012. But what I'm going to talk about this morning with these supplements is why they're worth reading, because they're actually very interesting. Now, you all probably have the Sunday newspapers, certainly the Saturday newspapers as well, where you have the review sections and then you have supplements. Well, what the Barrister magazine is trying to achieve here is to produce a lifestyle statement which is of great use to us at the bar. The purpose behind it is that, as you probably, many of you will get, the Bar Council ex-exec member benefits portal emails which give you 5% off various goods that you sell. It's part of the bar's approach to looking at barristers, if you like, counsel, as more rounded people. And one of the things about the lifestyle supplements which I like is, apart from the exotic places that you can go on your holidays, which is very interesting, are some of the very useful tips. For instance, a lot of us will have overseas holidays, so you've got something like Living the Tuscan Dream, and it's someone who's explaining what it's like to go and live there or to go and visit on holiday. Then you've got a whole range of other useful things, obviously again more exotic holidays, but the lifestyle approach itself I think is very important. It's not just appropriate for, perhaps if I may say so, lady barristers. It's appropriate for everybody, because we all have holidays and we all like to have some idea of the sort of lifestyle that we would like to have as a result of the onerous professional duties that we actually have when we're in court. As I say, you've got, for instance, a very global approach. This is one again from America, New York. And then you've got various other things. Again, also, for instance, you've got a point about the Caribbean. Remember, of course, many barristers have relations who are from overseas. I certainly do. And so it's nice to go and visit our families abroad. So it's very important. This, again, is another one. It gives you an idea of the sort of approach. But I've been very impressed with it because the purpose behind it is to put emphasis on the needs and requirements of the profession, not just in terms of what we do as lawyers, but, as I say, as a much more wider approach. Because one of the important things when you're dealing with clients is you've got to get onto a good relationship with them. And one of the ways of doing that is a little bit of small talk is always helpful. You can say where you've been on your holidays and you can talk about things. But of course, if you've been travelling overseas, you get a much better picture of where we are globally, and I think actually it assists greatly in the actual conduct of cases, the handling of clients and everything else. But it's also of great interest to, I think, a lot of people. I mean, one of the interesting points here is a nice little hotel. And I can say now, as I'm sure many people do, that one of the nice things to do is when you've had a long case, it's nice to be able to just say to your family, right, we can go off for a long weekend and have a short break. And this sort of thing is extremely helpful from that point of view. I've been very impressed with what the Barrister magazine has produced by way of the lifestyle section, because when you're going through the heavy articles, and some of them are, let's face it, a bit heavy, including my own, what you do like to have is a little bit of lightness and something which is slightly different, and that's what you're actually getting. As I've indicated, they are published annually, these supplements. There's one which covers lifestyle, and then there's one which is on personal finance, and I'm going to look at that as a separate video, but I think you'll find that the information concerned in the magazine is extremely helpful. The lifestyle issue comes out in the Easter term edition of the Barrister, and the personal finance supplement comes out in the October, which is the Michaelmas term issue. And obviously they are giving you a lot of additional information which is specifically aimed at us as practicing members of the bar. And as I've said before, I think this is a very interesting development, and very much in keeping with what the Bar Council did relatively recently. I think we probably all filled in the surveys, and we've seen some of the results about what our life is like as a barrister, not just what we do, but what we're thinking about, what we're trying to achieve with what we do, and getting that life-work balance. And that's actually what the magazine is trying to give you. It's giving you more than just the basic information about legal issues, the big issues of the day and some of the things that are happening, like for instance the reviews I write about conferences and things like books that are around and all sorts of other things, and the big heavy issues affecting government policy and that sort of thing. But what you've then got is the balance with the lifestyle issues. They are extremely, as I say, extremely useful. And let me just show you one final little trip. That's the current one that I've got, and as I've said, you've got some very interesting articles. What you do have at the beginning, just so you know, is you have a content section, and that will tell you what's in there. So if you're looking for anything specific, you can actually go straight to the content section. This is one of the earlier ones. You can see that as well there, and it gives you an idea of what you might be looking for, because for instance, you may be looking at a particular, have a particular idea of what you might want to do by way of a holiday or some sort of issue concerning in fact, generally they are actually holidays in this particular issue. And then there's also a small piece about financial planning as well, which I think is also very important, because at the end of the day we are self-employed people, so we therefore need to have some sort of pension pot, if I can use that expression, at the end of our years in practice, although many of us do tend to, as I have, gone on a bit longer perhaps than we had planned. But as I've said, this is a welcome initiative by the Barrister, so do have a look at the supplements, and do have a look specifically at the lifestyle supplement. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.